God bless you, beloved. Welcome to another edition of Spiritual Adults. On this channel, we tell Bible stories, stories we grew up with when we were younger, stories that have touched our hearts. This is Spiritual Adults. I'm so blessed that you people are watching us. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. Today, we're going to be talking about Isaac, the son of Abraham, the promised child of Abraham, son. This story is found in Genesis chapter 26. I'm just going to take it, because of time, from verse 1 to 25. Let's dig in. There was famine in the land, as bad as the famine during the time of Abraham. There were two famines in the time of Abraham. And Isaac went down to Abimelech, king of the Philistines in Gerar. As a result of the famine, he went to Gerar, which is a town or a city that is ruled by a Philistine. I want to believe, because this is just the very beginning, before the children of Israel became a nation. So I think he has some dealings with the Philistines. God appeared to him and said, "Don't go down to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Don't go down to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Stay here in this land, and I'll be with you and bless you." That's a word for somebody. That's your order for today. Stay here. Stay where I tell you. Stay here in this land, and I'll be with you and bless you. That's the word. Stay here in this land, and I'll be with you and bless you. Don't go down to Egypt. I feel God just spoke to somebody. You've been asked, you don't know, you were trying to make that decision. Do I go or not go? That's your answer right there. I am giving you and your children all these lands, fulfilling the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I'll make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and give them all these lands. All the nations of the earth will get a blessing for themselves through your descendants. And why? Because Abraham obeyed my summons. I like the word summons. Like when the judge will summon you, like in law. This is the message. He said, because Abraham obeyed my summons. When I summoned him to come and do my work, when I called him, he obeyed my summons and kept my charge, my commands, my guidelines, my teachings. That's why I'm blessing you. I want to read it again. Why? I'm blessing you. Why? Because Abraham obeyed my summons and kept my charge, which is my commands, my guidelines, and my teachings. So Isaac stayed put in Gerar. He stayed put in Gerar. You will stay put once you hear the voice of God. And this is Jehovah talking to him. And thank God, God gave him a hearing ear, and he stayed put in Gerar. He stayed put in Gerar. The men of the place questioned him about his wife. You know, his wife is Rebecca. He said, "She's my sister." He was afraid to say, "She's my wife," because he was thinking, these men might kill me to get Rebecca. She's so beautiful. One day, after they had been there quite a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out his window and saw Isaac fondling his wife Rebecca. Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, "So she's your wife? Why did you tell us she's my sister?" Lies. They are very inconveniencing to tell. I don't care who you are, whether you're a small child telling the lie or a big person. the king or anything telling a lie, it will come back and bite you. When you lie, it comes back to bite you all the time. It never fails. You might think you get away with it because look at what the text said. One day after they had been there quite a long time, when Isaac had forgotten what he told King Abimelech, he was just looking out the window and saw both of them having a romantic moment. He said, he told me that's a wife. And immediately, Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, so she's your wife. Why did you tell us she's my sister? This is the king. So you can see that he's angry. Why did you tell us she's my sister? Well, there's nothing Isaac could say. He has to fess up. He has to fess up. Because when you are in trouble, don't dig more hole. Don't get a shovel, try to dig yourself out. Just face the consequences. And that's what he did. Isaac said, because I thought I might get killed by someone who wanted her. Valid point. So he lied. Lying will come back and bite you. That's all I'm going to say. It's very inconveniencing to tell lies. If you tell the first one, you have to tell another one to cover. You keep covering. You get tired yourself. So don't even go that route. I think that's why God knows what it is. That's why I say we shouldn't lie. Don't lie. Abimelech said, but think of what you might have done to us. Given a little more time, one of the men might have slept with your wife. You would have been responsible for bringing guilt down on us. It's amazing, these Gentile people, they know morals more than us that have Jesus, have Jehovah God, they have more morals than us. I don't know. And here's the Gentile king chastising him. He said, given a little more time, one of the men might have slept with your wife. You would have been responsible for bringing guilt down on us. He's like, I don't want no trouble from Jehovah God. They ain't no God that time. I don't want no punishment. But this is what he did. God gave him favor. Gave Isaac favor before him. Then Abimelech gave orders to his people. Anyone who so much as lays a hand on this man or his wife dies. That's the king. That's a proclamation. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. So almost like God set this up. We can say God set it up because over the years, how long has he been scared that, one day somebody will come and kill me and take my wife. One day somebody would. So God decided to just take care of that, go straight and take care of that problem for him, and brought a permanent solution through the king so that he won't be worried again about that lie. And so Isaac planted crops in that land and took in a huge harvest. Why? Because God told him, stay put. Don't go to Egypt. I will bless you. He heard what God said. He obeyed what God said. And he said, he took in a huge harvest. God blessed him. The man got richer and richer by the day until he was very wealthy. He accumulated flocks and herds and many, many servants, so much so that the Philistines began to envy him. They got back at him by throwing dirt and debris into all the wells that his father's servant had dug back in the days of his father Abraham, clogging up all the wells. Envy will do that. Oh yes. When people are envious, somebody is envious, they will go to no length to make sure that they fix you real good. But thank God, who is in heaven and sees everything, he protects his own. Finally, Abimelech told Isaac, leave. He couldn't handle his blessing. Too much blessing is causing trouble for him. Leave. You've become far too big for us. So Isaac left. He camped in the valley of Gerar and settled down there. Isaac dug again the wells which were dug in the days of his father Abraham, but had been clogged up by the Philistines after Abraham's death. And he renamed them using the original names his father had given them. One day, as Isaac's servants were digging in the valley, they came on a well of spring water. The shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's shepherds, claiming, "This water is ours." So Isaac named the well Isaac, quarrel. But they quarreled over it. They dug another well, and there was a difference over that one also. So he named it Sitnah, accusation. He went on from there and dug yet another well. But there was no fighting over this one. So he named it Rehoboth, wide open spaces, saying, "Now God has given us plenty of space to spread out in the land." From there he went up to Beersheba. That very night, God appeared to him and said, "I am the God of Abraham, your father. Don't fear a thing, because I'm with you." That's why God gave him favor before that king who came to protect him. "I will bless you and make your children flourish because of Abraham, my servant, your father." When he had this encounter with the Almighty God, like I've often said, once you have a encounter with God, it evokes worship out of you. And so here it says, Isaac built an altar there and prayed, calling on God by name. He pitched his tent, and his servant started digging another well. I'll stop at 25. What is the takeaway? There's so many takeaways. But I think the one that just ring the bell is the instruction of God to him. Don't go to Egypt. Don't go to Egypt. I want to read it. Don't go to Egypt. Don't go down to Egypt. This is Genesis chapter 26, verses 2 through 5 in the Message translation. Don't go down to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Stay here in this land, and I'll be with you and bless you. Whenever we obey God, is blessing. It might look rough. The enemy might come and be like, "Oh, it doesn't pay to obey God. It doesn't pay, things are tough." In the midst of famine, he sowed in that land and he harvested 100%. So much more that even his neighbors begin to envy him. The king told him, "Leave." That's how much blessing God gave him. When you listen to God, he blesses you exceeding abundantly, above all you can ever think. Listen to the voice of God. Hear God and obey him. I think when in obeying God, that's the fear of God. That's what I feel. You obey somebody, not as in fear of morbid fear of God, as in reverence. When you love somebody, you reverence that person. It will look like fear, but it's just honor. Because he listened to God Almighty. God made him proud. He had so much blessing, he didn't know what. Everybody around up to the king were hating him. I'm emphasizing him because somebody might be at this crossroad today trying to go over to the other side, don't know what to do, but you know what to do. It looks like when you stay behind, it looks like you're defeated. It looks like, "Oh, but I'm losing." Stay there. Stay put. That's what he said. They say, "Stay put." That's what I'll say. Then the other one, don't lie. I've said it before. I don't want to belabor it. As much as lies within your power, avoid telling lies. It gives you heartburn. I don't want to have no heartburn. I want to sleep at night. I'll stop here. I thank you for listening to me. God bless you. Any problem you have today, I pray that God, Jehovah God, will touch that problem and it's gone, just like He did for Isaac. Touch you, touch your children, touch your work. Everything's going to be all right. Bye. I love you.